I want to take a few minutes to talk about budget devices because I've heard for months in my comment section people complaining about the Galaxy A series devices. Every time we're talking about One UI 4.1 and how well it runs on the flagship level Samsung devices, people always comment and say, well, it's not running like that on the A series devices. I didn't really have any evidence. I wasn't using any of them, so I didn't have anything to back that up until I used the Samsung Galaxy A53, and whoa, boy, I understand. I feel your pain now, people who are using that, who are saying those comments down below these videos saying, hey, it's not running that well. Well, now I know what you were talking about because it certainly was not running well. And especially if you had an Exynos in some of those devices, I certainly understand. So, even though this video is going to feature the budget alternative that the S10e provides, you can copy and paste your own favorite Samsung flagship of yesteryear, and it's really going to be based on how much you're willing to pay. There's great deals right now on the S20 Fan Edition devices, the S21 Fan Edition devices. Amazon Renewed has some fantastic deals. We just talked recently about the S10 and how well that's still running. Now, the reason why I picked out an S10e is I think it compares fairly well to an A53 5G, and right now on Amazon Renewed, with all the protections that provides you, sub $200. I think I saw one for $187. For $187, this is a fantastic deal if that's your budget, because you're going to pick up a slightly better build, you're going to pick up some features that you didn't have on those other devices, and what's great is you're going to pick up a much better performer than the A53 5G. Great first thing is the colors. You get to pick up, if you're not getting the international unlocked, of course, in the United States, the A53 comes in matte black, which is fine. A lot of people like that color on a device, but the S10e had all those fun colors. You could get the canary yellow, or you could get the salmon, electric salmon that this one happens to be. But there's more than just the looks to go into that. Slightly smaller display, I get it. I understand that. But still a 1080p OLED, which is fantastic and absolutely gorgeous. This is one of the better Samsung panels that they made, if the camera could even handle it. But it's fantastic. It gets bright. It was meant to compare and be alongside their flagship offering for 2019. So it makes sense that they put some of their best stuff in it. It has the flagship processor from that year, the Snapdragon 855, which still runs great in your S10, in your Note 10. Fantastic processor. It's going to handle everything smoothly. We certainly weren't maxing it out at the time, and we're definitely not maxing it out now. And when you use it, I went back and used this for about a week, you're going to notice a heck of a lot better performance than that Exynos 1280 that you have in your A53 5G. You pick up wireless charging, you pick up reverse wireless charging, battery slightly smaller. But I can tell you, since it's pushing a much smaller OLED panel at 1080p, you're not going to get as much battery drain. I still get 5 hours of screen on time with the S10e, and that's pretty comparable, bizarrely, with the A53 5G. So you lose 5G, yep. Still get a headphone jack here, USB-C charging, which is quite nice. Gorilla Glass front and back, so you get the glass and aluminum construction, with the aluminum frame, which is quite nice on the device. It's nice to hold in the hand. 6 gigs of RAM, which is comparable to your A53 5G as well. The big thing and the holdup that I think might prevent you from getting something like this and spending, even though it's half the price and much better performance and a flagship build from 2019 and the wireless charging and all the rest of it, what might hold you up is that even though this is running One UI 4.1 right now, it is in the last year of support with Samsung. And I had a question the other day, I forget who asked it, saying it was kind of a viewer request. What's the deal with phones that go out of support, where they're not going to be getting security updates anymore or the latest Android updates? Is that really that much of a problem? And I think of it like this, and I've always thought like this, and this perhaps might be an old viewpoint, that I was thinking like this when it was more PCs that you were dealing with viruses and not necessarily phones and compromises when it came to Android devices. But my thought for 100 years now seems like to be, a device is only as secure as the user. If you're somebody who's downloading a bunch of APKs off of sites, if you're going to a bunch of questionable high-risk sites, if you're using whatever it happens to be, if you're a higher risk user, you know who you are, and you understand that that's something that you may want to have up-to-date security updates so you're protected from the latest and greatest vulnerabilities that come out. For 99.9% of us, just downloading stuff off of the Play Store, just using Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and all the rest of it, those apps are going to be relatively up to date. They're still going to be supported. The vulnerabilities are not going to be the same. And you understand, like I said, if you're a high-risk user or not. And I think, for the most part, that if you buy something like this, sub $200, and you get support through the end of the year, you could use it for another year or so after that and not really have an issue. And then after that, you can update. So you could save yourself the over $250 now, because of the A53 5G series of devices comes in at $450. This comes in sub $200. So you could save yourself, you could pocket that $250 plus, and put it towards a device in a couple of years, or save up for something, or whatever the case happens to be. And like I said, we're just using this as the example. If you pick up a fan edition, especially an S20, then you're getting an additional year of support on that, which should be quite nice. And there's some great deals on Amazon Renewed on those devices as well. The point really here is, don't limit yourself to the A series of devices, especially the ones that have Exynos in them, because I think you're going to be disappointed with the performance, especially when there's fantastic alternatives from flagships from a year or two ago, even if you want to stay in the Samsung ecosystem, which is great. You're getting the fantastic Samsung build quality, their fantastic OLED panels, which are still best in the business, Snapdragon power and performance, reasonable amounts of RAM, the wireless charging, reverse wireless charging, all the fancy features, USB-C, and a headphone jack on a device that costs over 50% less. So don't sleep on that. Don't think that you just need something new, and something new is always going to be better, because I do think as long as you're comfortable with and the Amazon Renewed program, talk about it for 90 days, you don't like it, send it back. There's a lot of things to like there, and there's a lot of reasons why an S10e or something similar from Samsung, you want to stay in the Samsung family, One UI family, which is reasons to do that. One UI 4.1 rather, is running better on my S10e than it was on my A53 5G, which is a 3-year newer device. So is it about it being newer, or is it about how it performs? In my mind, especially for your dollars, less of your dollars, it's about how it performs. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.